Welcome to Toeic Listening and Reading Training. Bonjour et bienvenue à la préparation à la certification Toeic. Cette formation s'adresse à toute personne qui souhaite passer le Toeic test. La première unité vise à vous familiariser avec le test, à comprendre le Toeic, connaître les différentes parties ou composantes du test, et vous y trouverez aussi quelques conseils et recommandations pour bien préparer la certification. Let's get started. Nous allons commencer par le plan de l'unité. Unit 1, Toeic Test, Lesson 1, What's the Toeic Test? Lesson 2, Toeic Components, les différentes parties du test. And Lesson 3, Guidelines and Tips. Let's get started with What's the Toeic Test? Definition: the Toeic or test of English for international communication. So the Toeic test is an English proficiency test designed to assess the language skills of a candidate who wishes to validate his university degree or to work abroad. The Toeic listening and reading test is a paper and pencil multiple choice assessment. There are two timed sections of 100 questions each. The test duration is about 2.5 hours, with 45 minutes for section 1, listening, 75 minutes for section 2, reading, and approximately 30 minutes to answer biographical questions. Okay, so the Toeic listening and reading constitutes an international standard for measuring and validating the level of English in the professional environment with skills needed in the workplace. Donc, c'est un test d'évaluation des connaissances en anglais qui est très utile pour le monde du travail et pour faire, par exemple, un master ou un MBA. The Toeic test is increasingly required by universities and work positions. It meets the needs of different candidate profiles: students, engineers, managers of international organizations, professionals, etc. Now let's look at the Toeic format. You have 200 multiple choice questions, 100 oral comprehension questions with audio support for exercises with a duration of 45 minutes. You have 100 reading comprehension questions, 3 exercises, a duration of 75 minutes. The Toeic is based on authentic examples taken from international professional situations like meetings, trips, telephone conversations, etc. Now, Toeic assessment, l'évaluation. Results: a score-based assessment of oral comprehension and written comprehension. A score of 5 to 495 points for each, and a total score between 10 and 990 points. A score interpretation grid, une grille d'interprétation des scores, selon les points. Now, let's look at the content now, le contenu. Toeic Section 1, Listening. Part 1, Photographs. Part 2, Question Response. Part 3, Conversations. Part 4, Short Talks. Donc, ce sont les 4 parties de la première partie qui est, ou la première section dédiée au listening, à la compréhension orale. Donc, il y a une partie réservée aux photographes ou images. Deuxième partie, les questions-réponses. La troisième, c'est des conversations courtes. Et la partie 4, c'est des short talks, c'est des monologues. Section 2, reading. Donc, on continue après la partie 4 du listening. On passe directement à la partie 5, qui est la première partie du reading. Incomplete sentences. Part 6, text completion. Un texte à compléter. And part 7, reading comprehension. Donc, il y aura des phrases à compléter, des textes à compléter et des textes avec des questions de compréhension. En général, plusieurs textes. Bien sûr, vous allez voir tout ça en détail dans les autres leçons. Now, let's look at the scores. Les scores. Before taking the TOEIC, it's important that you know from the start what score you should aim for. For listening and reading, the results between 750 and 850 are quite satisfactory and open many doors for you. Donc, 750 et 850 est satisfaisant comme score. The maximum score is 990 points. Why take the TOEIC test? In addition to allowing students to experience international mobility, mastery of foreign languages is an undeniable asset for professional integration. Whether it is to enter a university abroad, a master program in business school, or obtain your engineering degree, you will need the TOEIC. Bien sûr, vous aurez besoin du TOEIC, soit pour intégrer une université, commencer un programme de master, ou bien sûr pour avoir votre diplôme tout simplement, qui est requis par beaucoup d'universités et des écoles de commerce. Now, the scores requirement. Tout va dépendre de l'institution. The total score adds up to a scale from 10 to 990 points. Some universities require a minimum score of 750 to qualify for an exchange program in an English-speaking country. Certain companies require an 800 or 850 on the TOEIC taken less than 2 years before the candidate to qualify for an international position. Donc, pour un poste à l'étranger, il faut un minimum de 800 et bien sûr de moins de 2 ans. Some higher education establishments require a TOEIC score of at least 785 to award a diploma. To integrate, for example, a master's or MBA in a major business school, a minimum score of 850 is required. Donc, tout va dépendre de votre but. Pourquoi vous allez passer le TOEIC test et le score que vous souhaitez avoir. Donc, questions and scores. Each section of the TOEIC has 100 questions, making a total of 200 questions. Each section of the TOEIC is scored out of 495 points. Depending on the number of correct answers, this is converted into a score from 0 to 495 points. If you have no correct answer, you get 0 points, of course. If you only get correct answer, you get 495 points for the section. It is generally agreed that a satisfactory TOEIC score is above 700 points. whereas a good score could be anything above 800 points. A ridiculous score could be considered to be anything above 900 points. Évidemment, pour résumer, donc un minimum de 700 et un score de 900 serait l'idéal. If you are a professional, companies may require a different score. Now, Toeic answer sheets. Donc, voici un exemple de la feuille sur laquelle vous allez inscrire vos réponses. We call it answer sheet. It's a multiple choice. So you have the number of the question and you have 4 possible answers, A, B, C and D. Vous allez marquer donc votre réponse au crayon sur la lettre soit A, B, C ou D selon la bonne réponse. ETS, the organization managing the Toeic, offers a correlation between Toeic scores and the CFR grades of the Common European Framework, comprised between A1 and C2. Vous êtes habitué à A1, A2, B1, B2 and C1, C2 pour l'évaluation des compétences en anglais. Donc, nous allons voir la correlation between these scores. Par exemple, first category 10 to 250 is a beginner. Second category 255 to 400 is elementary. Third category 405 and 600 intermediate. Fourth category 605 to 780 upper intermediate. And fifth category 785 to 900 is considered expert. Sixth category 905 and above is mastery level. Ce qui correspond dans le cadre européen des références en langue. Donc, basic user A1, A2, starter, elementary, independent user, intermediate B1, upper intermediate B2, proficient user, C1 expert, and C2 mastery. Ce qui correspond avec le TOEIC, donc, si vous obtenez un score de 120 à 225, you are level A1. 225 to 550, you are level A2. 550, 785, level B1. 785, 945 is level B2. 945, 990, level C1. Okay? So a score report and a certificate showing the exam date and the mark achieved will therefore be issued for people who have taken the test. It will have a mark between 5 and 495 for each of the 2 parts, oral comprehension and written comprehension. Obviously, the Toeic scores require another same depending on demander's requirements. Voici un exemple donc du Toeic Certificate of Achievement. The Toeic Certificate of Achievement features your name, your listening score, reading score, and total test score, your test date and location, the administering organization, where did you take it, a watermark on back, and it has a format that is suitable for framing. Bien sûr, si vous voulez l'encadrer, vous pouvez aussi. Now let's look at some key points. Time management is very important. Get used to the time pressure and the exam condition. And practice. Use appropriate content and the same task types as in the exam. Practice with purpose. Donc, ce sont les points les plus importants dans la préparation, la gestion du temps et la pratique. Now, next, to follow, details about test contents and components will be dealt with in the next section. So, ready for the Toeic exam? Our training will help you get the scores you need. How to be prepared? It's quite easy. Just join us now. Thank you for watching and goodbye.